name: The Most Beautiful Heart. A young man was proud of his healthy and beautiful heart. One day, standing in the middle of the town, he proclaimed that he had the most beautiful heart in the whole valley. A large crowd gathered to have a look at his heart. His heart was smooth, shiny, and looked very healthy. Indeed, the man had the most beautiful heart in the valley, everyone agreed. The proud young man felt delighted and boasted his perfect heart, which everyone admired. Suddenly, a voice from the crowd said, "Your heart is not as beautiful as mine." The young man searched for the person behind the voice, and an old man appeared in front of him. "Show us your heart if you believe you have got more beautiful heart than mine," said the young man. The old man carefully showed his heart. The crowd and the young man looked at the old man's heart. The heart was beating strongly and healthily, but it was not smooth and shiny as the young man's heart. Instead, it had scars all over it. It had places where some pieces of the heart had been removed and other pieces were put in. The other pieces didn't fit perfectly, and there were several uneven edges. In some places, there were deep gouges where some pieces were missing. The crowd laughed at the old man's heart. How can he claim that he has the most beautiful heart when it is all scared and uneven, they thought. The young man looked at the old man's heart and laughed. "You must be kidding. Compare your heart and mine. My heart looks perfect and smooth, and yours is a mess of scars and tears." "Yes, your heart looks perfect, but I would never trade your heart with mine," said the old man. "Every scar in my heart represents a person who I have given my love. I tear a piece of my heart and give to them. Often, my loved one gives me back a piece of their heart which fits into the empty place in my heart. Since everyone loves each other in a different way, their piece of heart may not perfectly fit my heart, so you can see some rough edges. These scars and rough edges remind me of the love we shared," he continued. "Sometimes I would give a piece of my heart, but the other person may not return a piece of his heart to me. These are the empty gouges. Although these gouges are painful, these remind me of the love I have for these people too." "So do you now see what a true beauty?" asked the old man. The young man and the crowd stood silently with tears running down their cheeks. The young man walked to the old man, reached into his perfect young and beautiful heart, ripped a piece out of it, and offered it to the man with trembling hands. The old man gratefully received his offering, placed it in his heart, and then took a piece from his old heart and placed it in the young man's heart. The young man looked at his heart. It did not look shiny and smooth like it used to. But it was now more beautiful because he could feel the love from the old man's heart flowing into him. They embraced and walked away side by side. Story name: A Boy's Meeting with God. A little boy was fascinated by the tales of God and was determined to meet God. He knew it would be a long trip, so he packed his bag with some of his favorite cookies and a flask with tea and started on his journey. He walked around 3 blocks and stopped by when he saw a beautiful park. He sat on a bench beside an elderly lady. She was just sitting on the bench and watching some pigeons. He opened his bag, took out his cookies and poured some tea. When he was about to sip his tea, he noticed the lady looked hungry. He offered her his cookies and a cup of tea. She gratefully accepted and smiled at him. The boy was delighted. They sat there all afternoon smiling and eating cookies, but they never said a word. As the day went down, the boy realized that he was tired and wanted to go home. He got up to leave, but before he took more than a few steps, he turned around, ran back to the old woman and gave her a big hug. She gave him her biggest smile ever. The boy entered his house with a huge smile on his face. Surprised by the look of joy on his face, his mother asked, "What did you do today that made you so happy?" He replied, "I had a lunch with God today." "But Before his mother could respond, he added, "And she has got the most beautiful smile I have ever seen." Meanwhile, the old woman entered her home radiant with joy. Her son, astonished by joy and peace on his mother's face, asked, "Mother, what made you so happy today?" She replied, "I ate cookies and tea in the park with God." But before her son could give her a reply, she added, "You know, he is much younger than I expected." Too often we underestimate the power of little acts of love and care, like a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, and all of which have the potential to turn a life around. We will come with some other interesting short stories in our next videos. Till then, take care and be happy.